Cool. Guys, I thank you for making time to chat with me about your movie, A Christmas Party. What a wild movie. What a chaotic kind of endeavor. Hopefully making it isn't as chaotic as this family is. But we'll be jumping into that. Um I also want to let you guys know that I actually broke out my ugly Christmas sweater for this. I had I usually wait until December to get this out of the box, but I went and dug it out today.
Nice,
Great.
nice.
I just
It's
thought you
great.
wear that every day normally on the
Ah,
street. So,
I forgot to bring it to Tiff.
mm.
So, all right, where do we start here? Where do we start? My first question is going to be, who among you idolizes Billie Eilish and Post Man Malone?
I'm going to defer to Jackson on that one.
No, don't defer to me. I don't listen to either of them.
Is that Gina? That's Gina, right? Postman Malone.
That was one of my favorite quotes in the movie. I'm like, oh man, even I know that's wrong. All
Did
right.
you write that, or what? Did she improv that, or did you write that? Do you
That
remember?
that was
No, that
me.
was written.
She improvised quite a bit, but that was one line it's so good that I even feel like with her intellect she couldn't get to.
Oh, she's so
I
great.
remember I remember reading that in the table read and like actually laughing.
It was very funny in like in context as I was watching the movie. That just because it happens so organically.
Yeah.
Guys, this is a Christmas movie. It's about a family and friends that get together for a Christmas get together, and chaos and drama ensues. It's that time of year right now, which is Christmas time, and I wanted to start off this conversation with something fun. What is your guys' favorite part about Christmas? What do you like about the holiday season? Alex, as the director of this movie, let's start with you.
Hmm. So I've always been a lead up over the actual day type of person, right? So it's for lack of a better word, about the vibes. It's about once you hit December 1st, or even right about, right after Thanksgiving, or even now, early November, you're kind of getting, the vibes a bit. So it's always just been about, again, the qualities that go together with Christmas, the joy, the happiness, the communal aspects. And with that comes a lot of the more negative qualities, the chaos, the urgency, and hopefully in this film we were able to kind of show both sides of the coin in that sense.
Yeah, Sarah Grace, how about you?
Um, well, it's funny, as the boys know, I hate Christmas. I am not a Christmas person. But I will say, if I had to choose my favorite thing about it, probably would be the food. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie,
Mhm.
like I just love like a big Thanksgiving dinner, a big Christmas dinner. Like my family love to cook and they're really good at it. So I'm always like super full. And I think probably like my favorite part of Christmas and also Thanksgiving is like after everyone has just eaten and like we're all stuffed and we're just like sitting on the couch in the living room watching like the dog shows and like not speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of us can relate with that.
Yeah.
Um, Jackson, how about you?
Well, Alex kind of took my answer, but definitely the lead up to it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole like environment and like nature of building up to Christmas, especially Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. I know it's like such a weird one to be like the favorite, but it's for me personally, it's a big family oriented thing, especially like not living at home now and like knowing like in a few weeks I'll get to go home and like spend a week with my family and just see my friends from back home and just get to spend time with them. So I think like on it mostly like a family oriented thing, especially for the holidays for me.
Very cool. I'll be incredibly transparent and say I tend to side with Sarah Grace
Hey.
on the holidays, so I'm glad I'm not alone in the room here. In fact, I am actually, this is going to be a really weird thing to admit. I'm not a Christmas movie person. I really don't like. I've never gravitated towards that genre, and I know that there are good Christmas movies, but like I haven't had the urgency to really see a lot of the classics, and so. And so this was kind of outside of my wheelhouse, but it was also so entertaining, and I'm glad that I had a chance to check this out. And it definitely got me ready for the holiday season. So I want to know where this movie came from, Alex. Talk with me about the idea, how it was generated, and what sparked this project.
Yeah, well, I remember the exact moment. It was right after I shot my last short film, Old Man, which was in LA. It was a horror movie about a serial killer, so it's way different. But I'd been in LA for a number of months at that point. I worked for Paul Feig at the time, so and if you know Paul Feig, Bridesmaids, I was reading like every wedding script, every comedy that was in the industry at that time. This was during the WGA strike, so during that time, right? So comedy was fresh on my mind. I knew I wanted to pursue comedy as I continued making movies. And this was December. I was in LA for a long time. LA can be, as much as I love it, it can be very lonely. And so I really miss my family. I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C., so I missed, again, the community that I have here, family, friends. And I was circling my studio apartment and I was just listening to Christmas music and I was just thinking about what movie I wanted to make next after I shot Old Man. And I just knew I wanted to make something more personal, something that captured again the thing that I was longing for regarding my home, again my family, my community, and a comedy, something that reflected my personality, right, as a storyteller. And so the movie was born.
Very cool. Jackson, let's move to you and talk a little bit about your character. Give us an idea of who your character Adam is in this movie, and yeah, just a little bit about that.
Well, I kind of relate to Adam in a lot of like ways for the most part, just because he's kind of this kid, coming back from college, kind of missing that like Christmas spark that, like you want everyone to feel. And so I think as the movie goes on, you can kind of watch him almost, I wouldn't say mature, but kind of grow up a little bit throughout the film. And you can kind of see that spark come back minute by minute. And so I think my favorite thing about like the character itself is just watching, like getting to experience and getting to play that growth along the film, just because it's a very magical thing. Like, I mean, unlike Sarah Grace, I love Christmas. I love the holidays. And so I think it's such a like magical and great thing. And getting to play like, oh, someone who's like kind of lost, like, it sounds a little cliche, but like the Christmas like spirit, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
and kind of getting like that whole sense of like, oh, like everything that the holidays is about in general, family, love, just that like spark that makes you love this time of year.
Right. And it's interesting because Adam, you're talking about his growth as a character in this movie. It's very much a coming of age story for him as he has this incredible crush on Allie, which is played by Sarah Grace. Can you talk a little bit about your character?
Sure, yeah. So Allie, I love Allie. I really love Allie. She's probably one of the characters that I've played that's really kind of impacted me the most personally. Like she's a fighter, she's gonna fight for what she wants. And even she'll still fight, even if she's not sure it's what she wants. She never goes easy with anything. And I think it's interesting because obviously like Allie and Adam are in very different places in their life um, at the beginning or throughout this story. But I honestly think that they're both kind of in a actually very similar place. Both of them are feeling a little bit lost. Both of them are feeling a little disillusioned with, what they thought was going to be something for him at school. For me, it's politics. Um, but I really admire like Allie's strength and how much she fights for all of the things that she wants and believes in. Um, yeah, and that includes Adam and Roman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Very, very interesting drama kind of thing going on there, but it's an interesting story arc, one of many that are happening in this movie, which kind of leads me to my next question, which is working with an ensemble of this scale. There are a lot of characters in this movie, and so I want to know each of your perspectives about what it was like working with this ensemble. Alex, we'll start with you as the one directing everything.
Oh man, I don't even know where to begin, man. Look, I mean, going back, my first film was two characters in a room for 20 minutes, right? So I kind of got my start there. In my second film, it was five, like four or so named characters, right? Now we have 17 in this one. So the increase, it's just it took a lot of obviously preparation, organization, most importantly, passion for the project, not just from myself, but for the cast in its entirety. And so I think we really developed that through the trust we had, both when we were doing rehearsals and then especially once we were on set together, right? This film is all about trust, both with what we're doing on the page as well as what we're doing authentically through, again, the vast amount of improv throughout the film, right? So working with a cast this talented and seeing them develop through the shoot, again, through rehearsals, through the shoot, right? Seeing them see the characters, right? And feel the characters out. It was really magical to see, right? And myself as the director being part of that, being part of their journeys, right? Whenever an actor plays a character, it is a journey for them personally, right? Not just for the character and their development through the movie, but them, right? And so being a part of that, not just for Sarah Grace and Jackson, but for the entirety of the cast, was great.
Yeah, I want to hold on to you for just a moment because, like I said, there's a number of storylines and story arcs happening here. I kind of want to get your insight, and maybe even advice to writers about writing this many stories and this many like characters in a movie. Is there something that you learned or some piece of advice you'd like to give someone who's like trying to write an ensemble piece that has this many like stories weaving in and out of each other?
What an amazing question. That's a really, really great question. A couple things, obviously, I can't really give one straight up answer. One, I would say find people you trust who can read your work, who can that goes for any piece of writing that you do, right? Not just an ensemble comedy. But my in this case, my collaborator, my co-writer, Guy Knoll, who I've worked with since, is an amazing writer. I don't take maybes really well, really. So when people read my work and they're like, oh, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. I think to myself, okay, well, then I'm just going to do what I believe in. Because if it's a maybe, it's between me and you, I'm just going to do what I think. Right. But if I get someone who can tell me this sucks, do this, then I can actually, listen. Right. Someone who's impassioned in their advice. And so that's what Guy does, as well as just being a really talented comic writer individually. In the sense of the movie being an ensemble comedy, I would say just make sure that it's coming from a place of authenticity, right? It's coming from a place of, okay, why is this character here? There are 17 characters in this movie. The amount of people who told us before we made this movie, oh, why do these characters exist? Like the Kane family, right? The three characters in the movie. So many people told us, oh, just get rid of these characters. It'll be so much easier. If you see the movie, they add so much to the movie, right? And it all comes up from a place of, okay, this is, who these characters are supposed to be. This is why they're here. This is where they came from, regarding again the film being influenced by my life here in DC. So again, find a reason, find a motivation. Don't just do things because of some superficial purpose.
Yeah, good feedback. Good feedback there. Sarah Grace, let's move to you and talking about ensembles. I really want to know more about the energy on set. Tell me about being with this many actors in one space. It all takes place at this one house. Let me get your perspective on that.
To be honest, it was awesome. Loved it. I mean, we lived in that house that we shot it in. We were also almost like the majority, I would say, of the cast for the majority of the shoot. We're all living in that house together. So we would shoot and then we would have meals together. We would all, stay up late in the basement at the foosball table. We were watching, cooking and this and waking up in the morning together and like, getting woken up by like Spencer being like 30 minutes to safety. It was like my alarm sometimes. But honestly, like it was wonderful to get the chance to like truly immerse ourselves and also like since that home was like my home, Allie's home. Like there were pictures of me and Ernesto, like our real photos everywhere. So like it really felt like we were living there, that this was our family and this was our home. Like it kind of made it just easy to kind of fall into this. It's like this is what we do every day. Yeah, we live here. Yeah, this is our home. We're a family. And like by the end of the shoot, it truly, truly felt like it. And like it really was one of the most like magical experiences getting to like work and live and truly like bond with your cast and crew. Yeah.
That's awesome. Jackson, it's interesting because there's a lot of stories, as I mentioned, going on here, but Adams is kind of the anchor here. We're following you for a lot of this movie, your character for a lot of this movie. Did you ever feel like a pressure with that, where there's so many performers here, but it's, your story is kind of the anchor here. Was there ever a pressure with that?
Oh, definitely. 1000%. I remember my first day we had kind of like a little rehearsal for the big dinner scene. And this was the first time I met most people. I mean, at least in person. We had a lot of rehearsals, which I have to give a testament to Alex for because without those rehearsals, I feel like for me especially, I would have been a lot more nervous than I already was. But kind of getting to practice with Allie and Sean and just the other characters in the movie really kind of calmed those nerves. There were still some nerves there, don't get me wrong, but definitely the rehearsals helped a lot. Yeah, I remember walking in and kind of being like terrified just because this was like my first like feature and I kind of remember like within maybe 45 minutes to an hour of just like being there and meeting everybody, I could like all those nerves really run away. I mean, it would just felt like such like a tight packed groups, like pretty much from day one, just because on the first 2 days we shot the dinner scene, so we were all together, and I think that helped a lot with kind of the trust building and the family aspect of the entire movie. And it felt a lot of like there was a lot of like pressure sometimes for sure, like when it was just like a scene for me and it took like maybe like five or like six, seven takes. And it was just like I would like in between takes, I'd have some advice from maybe another castmate or even Alex or Sarah Grace, where it's just like, you got this. Like it was a very reassuring thing, especially for someone like me, just to kind of be in there with all these like talented actors. It was just a lot for my first thing, but I there was not one point where I didn't feel supported and welcomed, and it just kind of piggybacking off of both what Alex and Sarah Grace said. It was a very big family aspect of it, and I think that was kind of from the jump from day one.
Hmm. Yeah, always great to have that support system, especially from a cast that you're working with, and I'm glad that you're able to really have that security from the people you're working with here. Um, with there being so much going on here, I can only imagine that there has to be some fun on-set stories. Um, I feel like when you're coordinating so much going on, there's probably things that go wrong. There's probably interesting things that happen on set. Alex, can you
Oh
think
yeah,
of a fun story
yeah,
that that may have happened
yeah,
on set
yeah.
while you were filming?
I don't know why they're laughing. I don't know what they're thinking of.
I'll get to you
I don't
guys
know. I
soon.
could never.
I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
your stories
I would
too.
never know. I don't know. I can't read minds. Look, I was trying to think of one, and I'm not going to give you a general answer like, oh, this day, this general like 12. That's not, 12 hours is not a moment, right? So if you
Hmm.
say, oh, a day, no, it's not a moment. Like
Right.
a specific story that encapsulates the problems that happen on set that you currently account for. Y'all remember Brett, the prop master?
Yeah.
Yes, I
So
remember.
there was
Brett.
one. So Brett was our prop master, great guy.
I know
This was
exactly
a
what
couple days
story it is
in.
too.
We were doing the scene. I don't want to give too much away, but it's in the living room. And being the prop master, I mean, it's literally in the name master of props, you know? So we needed the TV to be turned on. There was this movie on the TV, and we were needing to shoot. And obviously, the shoot wasn't very long. So we just were, the urgency was at an all time high. We needed the TV on, and Brett, our props master, you know, the TV wasn't turned on. Casey, our production designer, was asked by Brendan, our first AD, where's the control for the TV? Casey goes, oh, Brett has it. Brendan's like, oh, where's Brett? So Brett apparently, guys, I'm like, Brett had to take a shit. Brett was really had to go to the bathroom, right? And Casey told him, and Brendan, our first AD, who's usually very much composed, goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And the next thing you know, a couple minutes later, which definitely was not enough time, they definitely needed more time in there. He comes running up the stairs, you know, clearly, you know, belt was clearly not on tight enough. Shorts were sagging down to the ankles. I mean, not really. I'm exaggerating a bit there. But he came up and he was clearly very panicked to turn the TV on. So it's like one of those things. Again, if you want to, I think it's a story that that represents the onset experience very well. Is how can we ever account for a problem like that happening? right? You can't.
You just never know, and it's so interesting how something that might seem so small becomes such an issue that has to urgently
Yeah.
be resolved.
Yes, and it was resolved. And Brett's a great. He was great. He's a really valuable member of the ACP family. So
It really sounds like you guys worked with a great team, so that even when
yeah.
problems arose, you're able to to work
Oh, he
together to get
laughs
things
about
done.
it. I still mention it to him all the time.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Sarah Grace, do you have a story in mind about being on sets and anything comical that might have happened?
Oh, yes, I do. So I so this is like the day that we were gonna shoot the football scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think like the night before we had wrapped like super late. Like about halfway through the shoot, we started going like almost fully nocturnal, like shooting all night and sleeping all day. So I think we had woken up late, my bedroom faced the backyard. I could see the boys in the back, almost all the boys were in the back, just like, playing around with the football, whatever. I get out of bed, make myself some breakfast. And I go upstairs and then I just hear like some commotion. And apparently they were like practicing football for the scene, right? Max, who plays Roman in true Roman fashion, he like sprained his ankle like really
Oh
bad.
no.
Like right before we shot that scene, like, and we had more days left on the film for him to go, and he could like barely walk. I mean, it was not fun. It's not funny in the moment, but in hindsight, it's funny to me.
Oh no. Oh
Sorry to
man.
jump in, but that's why we wrote in an injury. Again, we
Oh.
wrote it into the movie. We had to. But that's a yeah. Anyways.
It just makes me laugh because I feel like that is just like so what would happen to Roman. Like, of course, he would like try to be playing ball with everybody, and he like breaks his ankle.
I love it. I love that behind the scenes kind of detail there. Jackson, anything come to mind for you?
Oh, I got a good one.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
our other writer, Guy Knoll, he visited
Oh.
set a few days. And he visited set for a few days, and it was the morning after our the whole day where we shot the backyard scene. So we
Mm.
were 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So it was just a long day in general. Everyone was tired. And I didn't stay in the house because originally I'm from Virginia, so I only lived like 45 minutes away, but I packed a bag the night before just because I knew it was gonna be a really late night. So I ended up staying there. And so I told everyone, I was like, hey guys, I'm calling this couch. It was a couch in the basement right by like the foosball table. I was like, guys, I'm calling this couch. And so one of our castmates comes up to me was MK McManus. He plays Orson. He's like, "Well, guy's asleep on the couch." And I said, "No, he's not. I'm sleeping there." And so I went downstairs and I like woke him up, blah blah blah. And I started kind of making the couch and everyone's like, "Where did Guy go?" And so me and Sarah Grace, a few of the castmates, we were still up at this time. This is like 7:30 in the morning. And so we're all like looking around for guidance. Sarah Grace opens a like closet door, kind of where the laundry machine is. And
It was the laundry room. The laundry machines were in that
and
room.
our co-writer Guy is asleep in the closet, laying on a cardboard box,
Oh,
just
wow.
with like a tiny like blanket over him. And I just remember Sarah Grace coming to me and she's like, "Guy's asleep in the closet." And I'm like, "What
Hey,
are you talking about?"
keep in mind what he was wearing in the closet as
Yeah,
Oh
and
well.
yeah.
he was in a full Santa outfit. And
Really?
so
Yeah.
I so we open the door. He's asleep using a cardboard box as a cushion with a very tiny blanket, and he's in a full Santa outfit with like the whole hat and everything, just
Yeah.
laying there peacefully asleep.
Ugh.
But that is definitely one of my like favorite, like just comical moments from the entire shoot, and something that he's gonna be a little mad. I told everyone about that, but it's
Yes,
okay.
this is going on the internet. That's funny. I loved he just said you just said a few lines, Jackson, and everyone knew the story, and that reaction was great. I love that.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Oh man. Well, yeah, guys. So this is a very entertaining film. It sounds like there was a lot of entertainment to be had in production. The movie is entertaining. But I want to talk a little bit about your craft before we wrap up. I want to know with I feel like with every movie anyone in any position can walk away with something new or having learned something new from the project. And so I think that's what I want to know from you guys. What is the thing that you took away from this project or that you learned about your craft that you implemented here in this project? And Alex, I'll start with you as director.
Yeah, trust. It's 100% trust. I obviously on not just features, but just indie filmmaking in general, right? There's so many moving pieces, so many again problems that you can't account for. It happens on every set, but especially when you go indie. Um, and it's so easy because you don't really get the assurance that you would on a normal studio production. So it's so easy to just say, I'm going to do this, right? Or I'm going to make sure that this happens. And this happened the first couple of, even before we shot the movie, Casey, our production designer, he was doing set deck for the house and I was helping out, even though that was not what I should have been doing at all as the director, but I was helping out because I wanted to contribute. Um, and he told me, he said, I don't think I've ever seen a director love his movie as much as you do, which I took as a compliment, number one, but also number two, you can step back a bit. I got this. You can do what you need to do, and I'll do what I need to do.
Mm.
Um, and that melody kind of plays throughout the entire film, right? This behind the scenes. And again, you have to learn to trust your cast, your crew. This was a production where obviously I was the first person. I birthed the project, right? So I was the first person to be passionate over it. All right, serious. All right, sorry, was it the birth you didn't like? All right, whatever, guys, whatever. Hey,
I didn't
you can
say
hate on
anything. I
me,
thought it was a good way to put it. I
All right,
like that. I
whatever.
like the phrasing.
But I was the one who wrote the project.
There you
And
go.
look,
You birthed the
um,
project. You birthed it.
I birthed it.
Let's just roll with it. Let's just
Stop
roll with
saying that.
um, and guys, I'm the director. This is I should have my camera off. This is ridiculous. So and look, it's so easy to take things into your own hands, say I'm going to do this, when in reality, again, you have to trust that your cast, your crew, um, are going to do their jobs and more. We needed more, and everyone did more, and I'm very grateful for that. And I can't wait for the opportunity where I can get back on set with a cast and crew that I have similar respect for, and allow them to do their jobs at the best of their ability.
That's awesome. Jaxon, how about you? What did you learn about acting or being an actor from this project?
it. About acting, it's gonna sound dumb, but it's hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
I've done like some stuff in the past acting wise, but I mean 13 days, 12 hours every day, kind of having to know and kind of be locked in at all times, no matter what. It's a lot of work.
Mm.
Um, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I had the most one of the most fun times ever shooting this project. But I would say the biggest thing I took away from it was respect.
Mm.
There was not 1 ounce of disrespect, whether it came to crew or cast, whether it was a PA or the lead or the director. There was not ever 1 ounce of disrespect within the entire project and the entire film. And kind of having that level of professionalism, especially when it comes to an indie film, is something you don't see very often. I mean, it truly felt like everyone was on the same playing field. And I think that's like one thing I will forever take into future jobs I do, just knowing like just being respectful, being a good person and knowing where you stand and knowing where other people stand and treating everyone like they're equal. Because at the end of the day, it was such a, and I tell Alex this all the time. I said, you could probably cast this movie 10 times over. You wouldn't have done as good of a job as you did this time. And I think it was such a lucky thing for me, especially for being like my first feature, to have such a honestly perfect crew and cast. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
That's incredible. Sarah Grace, how about for you? What did you get to take away from this about your craft of being an actor?
Um, I mean, not like not to like parrot what the boys just said, but like
Mhm.
honestly, yeah, like it it makes our jobs so easy as an actor when we are presented with good writing.
Mm.
And that was the first thing that attracted me to this project. When I auditioned for it, the sides that we got, I was like, wow, this is good. Like I really feel like we're batting the ball, like, and it's just natural. So like trusting in the writing, trusting in our director. And then like Jackson said on our first day when we kind of like rehearsed the dinner scene, even from that moment, like the improving and the ad-libbing, just the explosion of energy in the room, and like really feeling like as an actor, like, okay, yeah, like I'm supported. And like I think us like establishing that very early on gave us all a lot of freedom in choices that we made. And I don't think like, we wouldn't have the film that we have now if, that wasn't there. So yeah, truly just like, I hope in future projects I can take this sense of like trust and like just immediate like drop the walls, let's get in, let's play. Because like with this, it was so easy to do.
Yeah, and it's really awesome because the chemistry between you two, Jackson and Sarah Grace is great. It's like that coming of age story that, longing for someone and just being out of reach, but also kind of having that connection and that spark. Like it was so there. And I was very gravitated to that storyline because of the chemistry that you guys have. It's awesome.
Thanks.
Um,
Thank you.
So are you team Roman or team Adam?
uh, I might be Team Adam.
Oh, come
Oh,
I might be
on.
Team Adam.
That's
okay.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I feel for Roman. I do. Um, but
Nah, Roman will be
Adam
fine.
has swag, right? Like he
Please.
Oh, kind of.
No, it's fun. It's really fun I look forward to figuring out who else is on whose team. Roman's nice. He's awesome. And I think even with Roman, there's moments of really interesting character development where he's trying to figure out his identity and his place in this story and in this family. And I think that's very awesome to explore. So, but I'm Team Adam. There you go. But of course, this all also is a product of great entertaining writing, Alex. And so I guess I just want to wrap up by saying congratulations on making a Christmas movie that I enjoyed.
That's the ultimate compliment, Thomas. Thank you. Thank you, man. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
of course, of course. Any final thoughts about what you think is probably the most compelling reason why someone should check out A Christmas Party? Alex, we'll start with you.
I'm not going to give kind of some long drawn out answers that I tend to usually do in interviews. It's entertaining. It's a fun movie. That's all you need.
Yeah, Sarah Grace, what about you?
I'm like, what do I say? Probably like I feel like you said, you and I feel like we're very much on the same page about Christmas.
Hmm.
I think it's a good movie for people, like a good Christmas movie for people who don't like Christmas.
Hmm.
You'll still enjoy this movie.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I second that. There you go. And then Jackson, what about you?
I'm just gonna say it's real. I mean, it's very relatable. It's not your average Christmas movie, just like Sarah Grace said. It's great for people who also don't like Christmas, but also who love Christmas.
Hmm.
It takes you on a journey, and that's all you can really ask.
Yeah. Hey, guys, congratulations on this movie. What's the future of this? Where can people start seeing this film?
Yeah, nowhere right now, but that's a good thing.
Hmm.
Um, so we'll be venturing the festival circuit in 2026 with the hope of finding a distributor so everyone can have access to it sooner rather than later. But yeah, just in the meantime, just keep your anticipation high.
Yeah, and I look forward to following its future success because I'm sure it'll have it'll get a lot of exposure and I can't wait for more people to see it. So, guys, congratulations! Thanks again for this conversation. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thomas.